guys in the room. The guys that decided to put this dome on this ballpark because it's raining outside and absolutely perfect on the inside. Rubber game of this 3-game series between the Redlegs and the Milwaukee Brewers. And hi again, everybody. Alongside the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley and Jeff Picoro, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. You take away the one poor outing by Anthony DeSclafani 2 days ago, and this last turn through the Reds starting rotation has been very impressive, the best all year long.
They've really thrown the ball well, Tom, and I think when you look at these numbers, you think, what could have been if we could have had some semblance of this type of consistency throughout the season. We know the Reds have hit the ball very well. Even though the great starting pitching, the Reds have not hit the ball well. That has been the problem here, even though these guys have pitched awfully well.
Now, the guy to the far left is getting the ball here tonight, Matt Harvey. Not only that start, he's had 3 good ones in a row.
Tom, I like how Harvey has continued to come on. The thing that I love about Matt Harvey is even when he didn't have his best stuff, he still challenges the hitter within the strike zone. What has happened now, that stuff has gotten better. His pitches are in the strike zone. The pitches have more crisp to them. They've got more bite, and he's got more action.
His mound opponent tonight, we have seen him for a long, long time, pitching for the Washington Nationals. The Brewers just picked him up in left-hander Gio Gonzalez.
Yeah, I think when you watch Gio Gonzalez, this was only his 3rd start. He's had 1 good start with the Brewers, 1 not so hot. The key for Gonzalez is early in the ball game. What kind of command will he have? If his command is good, things work his way. If not, they'll work the Reds' way quickly.
Let's hope they do what they did to him in D.C. about a month and a half ago and beat him here tonight and win this series. The Reds, Scott Shevler says you got to be ready to hit. Jeff Picoro has that when we come back.
That doesn't mean the Reds won't be ready first pitch of the game. They have been very aggressive, especially late here in the season. And when Scott Schebler leads off, he says, hey, you had better be ready on Sunday, first pitch of the game. Quintana tries to get a fastball by him. He does it. Schebler gets every bit of that for the home run. That was on the first pitch of the game. And Schebler told Peraza, hey, you had better be ready.
Like, I'm not going to go up there and take pitches. It's not who I am. So I told Jose, you better get up on the on-deck circle when I'm up there, because when I go up, you might be up in a pitch. So, yeah, it's just I'm not going to change my game where I'm at in the lineup. I think they put me there for that reason, is to be who I am. And for me to be that, I need to be aggressive.
So last night, Schebler leads off, and he does this. Smacks a solid single into left center field. And then the very next batter, Jose Peraza, boom, gone. Just like that, the Reds had themselves a 2-0 lead to start the game. And that brings us to tonight's storyline presented by Elk & Elk. First inning offense, so they've been pretty offensive this year. Jose Peraza hitting above his average at .311, 7 home runs, 6 versus all other innings. He's got 13 total. Joey Votto, .308 in the first inning with a .435 on base percentage. Can they do it again tonight? We shall see if that top of the order is good with Schebler, Peraza, and Votto. Well, the Reds look for a series victory tonight against the Brewers.
Here tonight. Reds and the Brewers in the rubber game of this 3-game series. Milwaukee rolling here in the series opener. But the Reds coming back in a tight one last night. Mason Williams not even in the lineup, but he looks like he's ready to get after it right now, doesn't he?
He looks like he's ready to get on the dance floor, baby.
On that note, let's dance through the Reds starting lineup here tonight. It'll be Schebler, followed by Peraza, and then Votto. Suarez back in there, had a rare off night last night. Scooter Gennett playing second, and Phillip Ervin in left field against the left-hander Gonzalez. Barnhart, Harvey hitting 8th, Billy Hamilton batting 9th. Gonzalez making his 3rd start of this season against the Reds. He was with the Nationals at season opening series, pitched very well. Then the last time the Reds saw him, they banged him around in D.C.
I think Gio Gonzalez, there are some nights where he's just flat out unhittable. And then there are other nights where he struggles a bit. I think a lot of it has to do with confidence in his command at the plate. I think if the Reds can put a little pressure on him early in the ball game, they can send him to that second pitcher rather than the first.
So he's had a really good major league career. He broke in initially with Oakland in 2008, went to the Nationals in 2012, and to the trade here to Milwaukee. You see the career numbers, very good against Cincinnati. 125 career wins and a career ERA of 3.7. That's very, very good career. That's a great career. 28 games over 500. Tonight his 305th start. He has only pitched in 5 games out of the bullpen. All right, so here we go.
Saw a lot of first pitch swings in last night's ball game against Chase Anderson. We'll see how the Reds approach Gio Gonzalez here in the early going.
Schebler 273, 17 home runs, 49 knocked in. First pitch swinging. So that answers an early question. Into foul ground, a long run for the slick fielding Orlando Arcia. It's a nice play.
Arcia got a good jump on the ball, but with a left-hander hitting, as that ball goes up down the left field line, it starts to slice back towards the seats, and Arcia had a long way to go.
They got a lot of love down there from the fans. We talked about what an engaging personality this kid has. He really loves to smile, loves to laugh, and the fan base is taking quite well to him. Jose Peraza continues to have an outstanding year. 292 batter. Club number 13. That came with a man aboard here in the first inning last night. To go along with 31 doubles and 23 stolen bases. First game of the series, Peraza had that hitting streak come to an end. But he hit in 12 of his last 13 at a 382 clip.
Well, the Reds as a unit have had a tough time hitting on this road trip. Votto and Peraza have been the outliers. They have been crushing.
Now Peraza on this trip. Couple of doubles, couple of home runs. Votto is a 500 batter on this trip. 9 for 18, 1 double, 1 home run, 1 knocked in. And surprisingly, only 1 walk for Votto on his trip. Gonzalez scoops up the 2-hopper and flips down to the big man. Aguilar at first, 2 down. We look at Milwaukee on defense. Nice to see. But Travis Shaw is back in the lineup tonight. Got hit yesterday with a pitch by Michael Lorenzen. Had to leave the game, and it's nice to know he's back in there tonight.
Doesn't appear as though he's favoring that right knee at all. Watched him in batting practice today, doing a little bit of running drills. Looked like regular Travis Shaw.
Joey Votto first pitch swinging. The ARP take on Joey Votto in his career against Gio Gonzalez. That's ownership. That's 10 hits and 27 at bats, 3 home runs. Tied for the most that Votto's hit against any pitcher. And he has 3 doubles against him.
Well, if somebody's hitting 370 against you with 3 home runs, you know it before the game ever starts. Matter of fact, you know it last night before you went to sleep. How am I going to get this guy out?
Well, you're hoping you're going to face him with nobody on.
Well, there, and that's where we are right now.
Yep. 2-1 0-1 Votto. Nowhere near the strike zone. 3 balls and a strike. Take a look at that on-base percentage, almost .470 for Votto during this run of 17 straight games reaching base safely. Three and 2, he wasn't sure.
Well, you can really see Gonzalez with Votto. He is making sure every pitch is at the bottom, the very bottom of the strike zone.
Payoff pitch, Gonzalez to Votto. Got him on a breaking ball. Slow roller to the right side. And the Reds are gone in order in the first. Matt Harvey tries to answer that start, but he gets the ball when we return. Full season since replacing in 2015 Ron Renicky. Council raised right here just north of downtown Milwaukee. His lineup again with Granderson tonight in left, Yelich tonight in center, Aguilar over at first, Shaw at second, Domingo Santana a rare start in right, Moustakas at third, Pena, Arcia, Gonzalez against Reds right-hander Matt Harvey. Harvey making his 23rd start as a Red, and those are his numbers with the Reds. 7-6 ERA, just barely over 4. Strike one to Curtis Granderson. In every category after leaving the New York Mets. Now granted, it wasn't very much, but the point I'm making is in every statistical category since leaving the Mets, Harvey has gotten better as a Red.
I just think he's gotten healthier.
And he'll be the first to tell you that. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Granderson.
But I'll reiterate this that I said when we opened the ball game. Even when Matt Harvey didn't have his best stuff and did not feel good, he still pitched within the strike zone. He challenged the guys at the plate. He was not trying to nip and tuck and little here, little there. Still going after him.
What a find Granderson has been since picking him up. That was 2 weeks ago. Now granted, it's only 20 at bats and he has 6 hits, so a 300 batting average, but he's added 10 walks. His on base percentage is a brewer. Look at that number. Almost 550. That's why they have him at the top of this batting order, and he's got some pop in at bat as a leadoff batter. Harvey got ahead 0-2, and now the count goes full to Curtis Granderson. Boy, that pitch just ate him up on the inside. And Studer will throw out Granderson one away. The Reds on defense, presented by Ford. Irvin, Hamilton, Shevler left, center, and right. We talked about Suarez getting a night off last night, so the regular gang back together along the infield. And Tucker Barnhart hanging the sign for Matt Harvey. Big round of applause for Christian Yelich. Why shouldn't there be? Enters the day among the National League leaders in virtually everything. First in batting average, in OPS, second in slugging, third in runs, fourth in total bases, fifth in hits. And extra base hits. He's now in the top 5 with this double to left center field.
See where that pitch was, Tom? That ball is about belt high now. Barnhart wanted the ball elevated, but when you're talking about elevation of a pitch, it's got to be above the hands where the hitter has to change the angle. That ball is down around the belt, and that is waylay time.
It's the 31st double of the year. Same number as Yelich's home run numbers. 93 knocked in. Aguilar, the first baseman. Not sure what happened there.
Looked like a cross-up. You change the signs with a runner at second base. You could see Tucker Barnhart initial reaction was to reach in looking for a fastball in. He got a breaking ball and had to dive his glove back down towards the dirt and just could not come up with it.
So a runner stands at third now. That's Yelich. Aguilar sitting on 99 runs batted in. And now make it 100. Will be an infield hit. What a year it's been for the big man. 100 runs batted in. This was a guy that was cast off 3 years ago. Cleveland had nowhere to put him. And he has become very much a powerful force inside this Brewers lineup. A team that appears to be headed for the postseason.
Well, there are players that can hit for power. There are players that can hit for average. When you've got a guy that can do both, that would be Jesus Aguilar.
So 1-0 Brewers here in the last of the first inning. And now Travis Shaw, 240, 29 home runs, 79 runs batted in. Talking about Shaw getting hit last night. And man, he got drilled. Because Lorenzen, we know he can cut it loose. Down for a long time. He stayed in the game initially, and then what, an inning later they removed him from the game. See his numbers against Harvey, very good. Crowd here tonight. I think Monday was still the largest crowd we've had in this series. This one might challenge it tonight by the time everybody gets here. This earlier start time, you do run into a little bit more of that, you know, rush hour, getting in and out of downtown traffic. That ball blistered down the line, And thankfully that guy brought his glove. Boy, what a catch that was. That ball was smoked.
Harvey fortunate to get away with that pitch. It started on the outside corner and came right back to the middle of the plate, and that's what you do with a pitch like that. Just happened to see it too good and got out in front.
Kid's fired up. He should be. Man, that'll get your attention coming in hot like that. Three balls, 2 strikes, a count on Travis Shaw. In the air to right. And Schebler, a right foot on the warning track, able to make the play. 2 down in the inning. Domingo Santana, the batter. 203 at bats for Santana this year. 5 home runs, 19 batted in. He had homered as a pinch hitter in back-to-back games until last night. Had one Sunday and had one here on Monday night.
Santana has always had big power with the fastball to right center. You leave the breaking ball over the plate, that's the ball that he's going to pull. Really tries to stay inside the baseball when he's going well.
One ball and 2 strikes. And that strike 3 called on the outside corner. 96 miles per hour on that fastball. Yelich a double, scores the first run of the game. Inning. You know, last night after the game, and we've seen Gio Gonzalez already a couple of times out on the mound here tonight have to step off the rubber and swat away mosquitoes. And Jeff Pecoro, you were talking with us last night, and Jim Day was echoing the same things that you were saying, that apparently mosquitoes are a major problem down on the field of play here in Milwaukee. Even with the Dome Stadium, they got the runner on the tag by Aguilar. I mean, Pick, are they all around you down there too?
It's unbelievable, Tom. They've had so much wet weather this year. This is in the Reds dugout. You see some of these mosquitoes, but they have these candles all over the bench. You see the players spraying down their jersey. They say it's even worse in the bullpens as well, but they are absolutely everywhere. And when they shut the roof, there's no place for these guys to go, so they just swarm everybody. Mason Williams said it's really bad in the outfit. He said his ankles, even wearing 2 pairs of socks, have just mosquito bites all over his ankles. Wow. Amazing.
Citronella candles.
Yes, citronella.
You need those down in Mississippi.
I know all about citronella candles.
I mean, those ones they have down your way come with a flight attendant.
That's exactly right. They don't have a little flame like that. Those suckers look like a blowtorch.
Scooter pulls that breaking ball foul. Looked like all those guys in the bullpen were sitting right around that candle, trying to keep the mosquitoes away.
You know, they have services that will come in and spray your entire area, whether it be your yard or maybe your ballpark, and it keeps the mosquitoes away. Because if it'll work in the South, it'll work in Milwaukee.
Yes, indeed.
You can book that.
That you can book. Two balls and 2 strikes to Scooter. Tonight, the final meeting of this 2018 season between the Reds and the Brewers. Brewers have 12 wins against the Reds this season. They had 11 wins a year ago. The number 12 this year, the most the team has ever had in any season against Cincinnati. Game number 19. Reds with a win today would go 3-3 with 4 to go in Miami to wrap up the road portion of this 2018 season. And there's ball 4, fastball high and tight. So Jeanette becomes the first Red to reach base with 1 out here in the 2nd inning.
6th batter, the left fielder, 27, Philip Irvin.
Philip Irvin just shoots one the other way, and Scooter Jeanette is coming on to third base. Santana throws that way, going to be cut off. Very aggressive base running by Jeanette. That ball was not hit hard at all, and Santana had to come a long way to get it.
Looked like the setup by Irvin with the way he had his feet in the box, closed off the plate. Looked like he was just going to dive into the plate and shoot the ball the other way. Maybe that was his game plan.
Runners on the corners now for Tucker Barnhart. Reds down 1-0, trying to change that here. Fouled away by Tucker. Runners at first and third with one out.
In yesterday's ball game, Barnhart in his first 3 at-bats had a steady diet of changeups. And that first pitch here was a changeup.
Here's a squeeze, and it's fouled off. Barnhart, a good handler of the bat, among the better bunters on this team, and the Reds try and pull off the squeeze.
This ball almost head high, maybe above that. Very difficult to try to bunt that pitch. But in a squeeze situation, you've got to figure out a way to make contact. And Barnhart in that situation saved the Reds an out just by fouling it all.
Talked about these numbers on the road here of late. 2 for 53 with a runner in scoring position, and neither hit has brought home a run. Oh boy. Gonzalez wondering where that missed.
Just a bit outside.
Ooh. One ball, 2 strikes to Tucker Barnhart. Nice block by the Milwaukee catcher Manny Pena on that breaking ball about a foot in front of the plate.
Two different types of breaking balls. The 0-2 breaking ball looked like he was looking for a called strike 3. That one he was trying to get Barnhart to chase it in the dirt.
Try to get him to do it again.
Well, he got Barnhart quickly to 0-2. 3 straight curveballs that have missed. The swing and miss pitch was the changeup to Barnhart. Do you have enough gumption to throw it here?
Runner goes, and he had enough. He threw it. Been around as long as Gonzalez has. That probably comes as no surprise, right?
Yeah. You've got an out in the inning. You're looking for a double play ball or something that you can decelerate the opponent's bat. But you could see as Barnhart made contact with that pitch, it was a good 6 inches off the outside corner. That tells you the type of movement away from Barnhart that Gonzalez has with the changeup.
Three balls, 2 strikes once more on Tucker. Irvin got a late break. Oh, if somebody covers the bag, they probably get Irvin, and no one does. And that was after Pena had stepped in front of the plate twice to tell his defense what they were going to do in case the runner was going. You think they just decided they weren't going to cover to take the chance?
I'm a little flabbergasted that nobody went to second base.
Yes.
I'm sure that's the discussion that Craig Counsell is having right now on his bench.
That's a huge out of Barnhart because you have the pitcher batting in the 8-hole. So here is Harvey. Only 4 hits in 54 plate appearances this year for Harvey with 1 run batted in. Second and third, 2 out. 0-2. And that's all for the Reds. They threaten with runners on the corners and 1 out. Still 1-0. $0.99. You can see every game the rest of the year out of market. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this limited time offer. Matt Harvey back on the mound, and Cowboy, you talked about. The simple truth is he's gotten healthier as we have moved forward, and the numbers are starting to show it.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it. Now, this number here, I think you can kind of throw that out a little bit simply because there were 2 innings, maybe 3 or 4 that he was throwing, not a lot of innings. But what you're noticing is a downward trend in the ERA department. That tells me Matt Harvey is healthy. As he has gotten healthier, he has challenged the zone more, ultimately pitching much better baseball.
And Cowboy, you know, ultimately it's been talked about, it's been written about. Listen to the radio talk shows if that's your thing, as to what the Reds might be thinking or what should they be thinking in regard to Matt Harvey at the end of this year. Scott Boras is his agent, probably the top agent in all the Major League Baseball, and many general managers will tell you a difficult agent to deal with, but I mean his clients swear by him, good, bad, or indifferent, and Matt Harvey is right at the top of that list. So you think the Reds make a run at him? Think about making a run at him?
I think it would have to be a creative contract.
Takis pops it up to Billy. This will be on number 1.
But in this day and age, there are a lot of creative contracts. There are a lot of opt-outs. There are a lot of front-loaded, back-loaded, sometimes 40-year loaded contracts. I mean, it can get done if the 2 parties want to make it happen.
It's been debated on and on and on about, you know, whether Harvey would want to stay in Cincinnati. Grew up around New York. Of course, pitched there his entire career until he was traded to the Reds for the New York Mets. He has said many, many times that he's very much enjoyed playing here this season, playing with the Reds this season, and his teammates in particular. He's also very smart. I mean, what else are you going to say? No, I don't like being here, and I don't want to be here at the end of the year. You're not going to win any friends. And he's a very pleasant guy to be around. Pretty quiet.
I just think Matt Harvey knows how to pitch. He understands what he's got to do to be successful. He has been successful. He's been great. He's pitched in the World Series. Those are things that you like to have around your young pitchers. Now, the question becomes, do you think he's going to continue to get better, or do you think he's going to stay where he's at right now? I personally think he's going to continue to get better with arm strength.
Two and two on Manny Pena. Well, he tried two in a row out on an outside corner, both at 95 miles per hour, and just misses. Ground to Peraza. This will take care of Pena. And the first two set down by Matt Harvey, trailing 1-0 here in the second inning, and now to be the shortstop Orlando Arcia.
Whether your name is Matt Harvey or whatever your name is, personally, I like to watch a pitcher that is on the attack with the entirety of his arsenal. And being on the attack means that you challenge the strike zone. That doesn't mean that you throw it right down the middle. It just means you get after it. Harvey gets after it. And I think the one thing that Matt has been able to do, even when he was hurt early in the season, he's been able to get the ball to his glove side. Not always perfect. A lot of times that ball was coming back earlier. He didn't quite have the same extension that he's got now. I like the moxie.
No doubt about it.
I mean, Matt Harvey is not going to brag and talk, but his body language on the mound tells me I'm better than you. I know I can get you out. I love that.
Two strikes on Arcia. Right back to the mound, and Harvey puts together a perfect second inning. Off we go to the third. The Brewers in early 1-0 lead.
September 19th, 1943, Baseball and Reds Hall of Famer Joe Morgan was born on this day 75 years ago. As a Red, 75 and 76 National League MVP, first National League second baseman to win MVP back-to-back, All-Star in each of 8 seasons with the Reds. He was a 5-time Gold Glove winner. Inducted into the Reds Hall of Fame in '87, Cooperstown in 1990. His number 8 jersey was retired in 1998, and his statue was placed outside GABP 5 years ago. And what a great guy to see him around at spring training and throughout the year, Tom and Jeff, than Joe Morgan.
I got to tell you, of all the people I've ever met, and Lord knows, had a chance growing up around this sport and working inside of it for 30 years now, met a whole lot of people that know a whole lot about baseball. But one guy more than any other guy I wish would have managed was Joe Morgan. There was a time he was thinking about it. There's no doubt. As sharp and savvy as they come.
Still remember growing up right at the time he was playing for the Big Red Machine. He always had that pump with that back elbow, and all the kids, they thought, well, heck, that's how you hit. You pump that, or either you squat down like Pete did. That's how you did it. You did one or the other.
That's right. You squat down like Pete, have that back.
That's right. Look right over that front shoulder.
Well, happy birthday, Joe Morgan. I know he's dialed in tonight.
No doubt about it. Happy birthday, bud.
Billy Hamilton pops one up. And that's out number 1. Here in the Reds' 3rd inning. And I tell you, it's also Randall Kirkmeyer's birthday today. One of the Nasty Boys. Hard to believe he is 56 years old today. Randy Myers. Another fun guy to be around. Fun guy. He's out there a little bit, but he's a fun guy.
It's all right. Left-handed closer, you're supposed to be out there a little bit. Never let them see you sweat.
Back to the top of the order, Scott Schebler. He swung at the first pitch of the game and fouled out on a very nice running catch in front of the stands made by Orlando Arcia. First time through the order, 7 first pitch strikes thrown by Gio Gonzalez. 2-0 to Schebler. 3-0. On the way. Strike 2.
Well, after swinging at the first pitch in his initial at bat, he's let 5 go by here without pulling the trigger.
Finally swings at the 6th pitch in that at bat. It grounds one to Travis Shaw. 2 up, 2 down. So you made the comment, which I think is spot on. There are games you see Gio Gonzalez, and we've seen a lot of the games he's pitched against the Reds, where he's as good as any pitcher in the league. Now, he may not go out and strike out 14, although there used to be a time when he was capable of striking out 14. But then there are other games, like the last time we saw him in Washington,
all over the place.
He couldn't get anybody out. Couldn't find a strike zone. For a guy who's had as much success as he's had, and here you see tonight his 3rd start with the Brewers, he really does have a look of a guy who, after all these years, there are times when you see him on the mound where he looks like he just doesn't believe in what he's doing out there on the mound. You think it's accurate?
I think it's that he just doesn't have feel that day. And Lord knows you have those days.
Oh, yeah.
The worst part about the pitching issue when you're pitching every 5th day is you may feel great on that 4th day and think, oh man, I can't wait till tomorrow. And you wake up, you get to the ballpark, and you got nothing. And you think, great, I got to figure out how to get these guys out. You know, you and I have talked about this ad nauseum. You make 30 starts, 5 of those starts, if you're lucky, you will have your A game and you'll have a whole lot of fun. The other 25, figure it out.
That's all for Peraza and the Reds. Second perfect inning for Gonzalez. He has a 1-0 lead. Seats event coming up Saturday, October the 6th. You hit a home run, you get your season tickets for free. For more information, 513-765-7500 or visit reds.com/swing.
There are also going to be markers and placements in the outfield that if you happen to hit one of those, you may not win the seats, but you may get a prize package, suite, use of a suite, something like that.
Wow. Would you say 4 people last year hit home runs?
I think I'm correct with that.
Reds down 1-0 here as the Brewers send Gonzalez to the plate, leading off the bottom of the 3rd inning. Harvey's allowed 2 hits. He allowed the double to Yelich with 1 out, and then a cross-up between the pitcher and the catcher as to what pitch was going to be thrown. Wound up being a pass ball charged to Tucker Barnhart, advancing Yelich on to 3rd. An infield single, the 100th run batted in this year for Aguilar. And Harvey shockingly has walked Gio Gonzalez to start this inning. So here's Curtis Granderson. He grounded out to the second baseman Jeanette his first time up. Votto's playing behind Gonzalez over there. He doesn't have a step and a half lead. Hamilton will call off Peraza. And that's a first out in the Brewers' third. Big round of applause again and again and again, and that'll continue to build. The Brewers have one more homestand left. There you have an off day tomorrow. They'll be flying out of town. Go to Pittsburgh for 3 games, 2 huge games, 3 huge games in St. Louis to follow. Boy, what a big series that will be. They are the top 2 teams in the wild card right now. Milwaukee 2 games better in the standings in St. Louis. And remember, whichever team has the best record gets that game at home, the wild card game. So there'll be something very much on the line by the time those 2 teams get together. The Pirates have given the Brewers fits. You could say, you know, they got 3 games in Pittsburgh. That's the one team in the division for whatever reason they've had a very hard time beating. Then the games in St. Louis, they finish here against the Tigers, not a good team. Cardinals and Cubs, you talked about that, those final 3. When you know nothing would be more enjoyable for Cub fans than to somehow eliminate the Cardinals from the playoff picture at Wrigley Field. Here's what we're talking about. An even record with St. Louis. They've hung in there with the Cubs. A lot of those games could have gone either way, but they just cannot hit Pittsburgh.
They played very well against the Cubs. The record probably doesn't show it, but those games have been awfully tight.
Nothing in 2 on Yelich. You saw Barnhart there standing up looking for that pitch up. He didn't get it up enough to Yelich the last time, and he smoked one into left center field for a double and scored the game's only run.
That's the pitch that gave Yelich some trouble yesterday. That hard cutter right in on his hands, especially once you're ahead in the count, because he's looking to shoot the ball into that left center field gap, as we saw in his initial at bat of the ball game.
Oh, and 2 on Yelich once more. Ball and 2 strikes. Harvey will. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Votto must have been 40 feet off the first base bag. Now he doesn't know Harvey for sure is going to be able to get that ball. But look how far Votto is from the bag. I mean,
I think initially Harvey was going to go to second. He had a play at second, but it did not appear that he had a grip on the baseball to throw the ball to second base. And once he made the decision to go back to first, nobody was home.
Well, it has to be scored an infield hit. Aguilar is swinging a miss. He had the only RBI of the game, an infield hit on a ball hit up through the middle. It was cut off before it went to center field, but he was able to beat the throw. And this one is launched into right center. Look out. 3-run home run. He's knocked in all 4 tonight.
Fastball, middle, up and away. And for Aguilar, that is right in his wheelhouse. You walk the pitcher, you don't get him out on a ball right back to the pitcher. That's a problem.
And this one's into center field, a base hit for Travis Shaw. Danny Darwin will now come out of the dugout and make his way to the mound.
Well, this is nothing more than just giving Harvey a chance to cool off and regain his wits. You're in a spot where you feel like, all right, I've got 2 outs in the inning and a runner standing at second base or at first base, whichever play you decide to make, and you ultimately end up getting nobody out.
Jesus Reyes beginning to crank it up down in the Reds bullpen. And now the batter, Domingo Santana. Big swing and a miss. Santana struck out looking his first time up.
One of those spots for any pitcher where you've got to regain your composure, you've got to regain your concentration, and you've got to hope your offense can help you out a little bit. But you can't let it get away here.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The count now on Santana. Cowboy mentioned this inning began with we used the word shocking. A walk to Gio Gonzalez, the pitcher. Got an out. Tapper back to the mound. They don't get an out at second or first, and then the 3-run home run. Santana gone on strikes for the second time. 2 in the game for Harvey. 2 outs in the inning, and here's Moustakas. He popped to center field his first time up. Well, you just think to playing this team, Milwaukee, a year ago at this time. I mean, they had guys in their outfield, Santana, Keon Broxton, and they were still very much in the hunt for the final wild card spot last year. Aguilar had really come on strong for him and taken over the job at first every day. They still had VR was playing a lot here. They had a good year out of Arcia. But think of all the things that have changed since then. They bring in a new center fielder as a free agent, Lorenzo Cain. They make the big deal for Yelich, who could be the league's most valuable player. Here we sit tonight, where they watched Arcia get off to a terrible start offensively. Still very good on defense, but felt like they had to make another move. So at the deadline, they go get Scope from Baltimore. They bring in Moustakas from Kansas City. And the guy pitching tonight just came here from D.C. It's unbelievable. The turnover and a success right now, the Brewers. Going further. And by Cincinnati Children's, now ranked number 2 in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. Nothing like a sausage from right here in Milwaukee. And they've even got the races here.
You say sausage?
Oh, yeah. Gotta get a sausage. Right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Manoa. One hopper down to first, and that's the first out in the Reds' 4th inning, trailing 4-0. Gonzalez has been very sharp here tonight. And on those days you catch him, he can be a tough hombre to beat. Walked one batter. That was Scooter Gennett in the 2nd inning. And he's only given up 1 hit. That was just a ball that Irvin just sort of feathered into right field with the right side wide open. Beautiful breaking ball to strike to Swallows. Here you go, Cowboy. That's what I mean. They're everywhere.
They're loosening up for the race.
Now, see, I had an old partner many, many years ago. Mark Grace, former great Chicago Cub and later Arizona Diamondback first baseman. He put on one of those costumes and ran in the sausage race. Now, that would lead me immediately to the question.
Not happening.
Once you get all healed up, and Dr. Kremchek and all the great doctors out there at Beacon get you all fixed up at the end of this year, is there any chance you put on one of those costumes next year and run in the sausage race?
I will repeat myself. Not happening.
Okay. Maybe we ought to get my dad to do that. There's a strike to Suarez.
Not sure your dad would fit in that costume. You got to be tall enough to get at least to the belt,
You
right?
might be onto something there. Here's ball 4. Well, you know, they have on Sundays where the kids put them on.
He might be able to wear one of those. Be looking good.
He'd be looking really good.
May have to bring that up on our midnight run to Miami here tonight.
That'd be a good idea.
Ask him about it.
We get that all lined up with Mike Vassallo, used to work for the Reds, now the head of media relations for these Milwaukee Brewers. Here is Scooter Gennett. And it's into center field, a base hit by Scooter. So the Reds have a little something working here with one out in the 4th inning, 1st and 2nd. And Urban coming up.
27, left fielder, Philip Rivers.
Right back through the box by Gennett. Well, the Reds had themselves in a position similar to this back in the 2nd inning, but unable to get anything across home plate.
Yeah, for those of you that weren't with us, the Reds had runners actually at 1st and 3rd in that inning. They attempted a suicide squeeze play with Tucker Barnhart at the plate. He fouled the pitch off. It was a pitch way up in the strike zone. But then Gonzalez wound up striking out Tucker Barnhart, and he got Harvey to win the inning. Urban looks at a pitch down and in. Urban, that single through the right side, his first time up. Urban against left-handed pitching. Just a .240 average. That number has really come down after wearing out the left-handers for the first couple of months he's been in the lineup. He does have 5 home runs and 10 doubles against left-handers. He has a much higher batting average against the right-handers, minus the power numbers.
That was a pitch to hit right there. 2-1 fastball right down Broadway.
Now he's going to choke up a little bit. See his career numbers against Gonzalez, including a home run. 3 for 3. Popped him up into short right for the 2nd out, and the runner stayed put. Barnhart will get another chance with runner in scoring position. 2 on, 2 out.
Number 16, the catcher, Tucker Barnhart.
Earlier today, Atlanta beat the St. Louis Cardinals 7-3. Atlanta avoiding a sweep at the hands of St. Louis in that series. And that pitch, it looked like it hit Barnhart, or did it? I guess it missed him. Somehow, some way it missed him. Don't know how it missed him.
Really good job by Pena to keep this ball at least what appeared to Scooter Gennett to be out in front. Or Suarez, I should say, at second base.
Want to know the count on Barnhart. And a fly ball to left field. Inning over. Red strand 2. They've left 4 on so far tonight and trail by 4. Keep it going. It's going to be a tough road, though, against the Ohio University Bobcats. Get a first look at the matchup on Bearcats Insider. That's tonight immediately after Reds Live on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Those are our buddies Dan Horde and Tony Pike. Of course, Tony led the UC Bearcats when Brian Kelly was head coach to back-to-back trips to BCS bowl games. Played in the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. And speaking of college football, for those of you that weren't with us last night, the bet is on. A pie in the face to the loser. That would be Jeff Brandley's Mississippi State Bulldogs, undefeated, ranked number 14. Jeff Bacoro's unbeaten Kentucky Wildcats. They will collide. And you see that series history now is pretty tight. Only a one-game spread. And that game will be in Lexington, Kentucky, and in the Commonwealth. I'm already excited for Tuesday night. And there's a lot going on between now and Tuesday. Because I've been the guy who took the pie in the face when Kentucky beat Ohio University.
I saw that.
Well, whoever gets it in the face this year, you or Mr. Pecoro, you just gotta enjoy it. I mean, Pick didn't go slamming it in my face or anything like that, where it wasn't over the top, but it was just a slow sort of rub it all really good in it.
Yeah, I think the turn is the key.
It is.
As you make contact and you give it a little wrist action.
Are you already practicing that? You know, kind of like you used to throw your slider or the splitter?
Yes.
You know, I'm very confident about this football game coming up Saturday night.
Pick, they're ranked 14th in the nation, man.
It'd be a huge victory for the Cats.
It would be, but they look like this is a year where they plan on making noise. You would know. You announce their games. They've already beat Florida for the first time, what, in like 35 years or something?
1986, the last time they beat them.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
32 years ago. That was a huge win as Pena grounds out to the shortstop.
That was their big win of the year.
Well, the next 2 weeks are going to be huge for them. You know, to tell them what they're going to do in January. They've got Mississippi State and then South Carolina, who they've beaten 4 years in a row, and both of those games are at home. So
Yeah, and South Carolina's already been humiliated this year by Georgia.
yeah, well, Georgia's pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Pick, correct me if I'm wrong, the game after that is in Alabama. Is that right?
Texas A&M.
Okay.
Yes, but look, here's the thing. To me, it's a much bigger game for Kentucky than it is for Mississippi State, in my opinion.
Well, the way that the folks down where I live at look at it, every game is a big game. They will show up.
And you got a new head coach down there, right?
That is correct. Joe Moorhead. Penn State.
Yes, indeed. Worked under Coach Franklin there. One ball and 2 strikes on Arcia. Foul ball off to the first base side. It'll stay right there to the Milwaukee shortstop. But anyway, you know, we were talking earlier about the changes this Brewers team has made. It's just unbelievable, the amount of changes. Not only during the offseason, but in season. Good play by Harvey. Well, sharply hit, got the glove down, and that's a second out of the inning. Saw them earlier this year. They had VR still playing second base. He's now gone to Baltimore. Shaw was playing third. Arcia was the everyday shortstop. Now you've got Moustakas every day at third. You've got split playing time, Scope along with Arcia at short, and now Shaw at second. 1-2-3 inning. Go to the fifth, 4-0. Brew Crew. To the season, presented by Rachel Ray Nutrish and Kroger. Arrive early and enjoy pet activities, samples in the Kroger fan zone. They have the pregame parade. You can walk with your dog out on the Great American Ballpark field. Buy your Bark in the Park ticket package today. Reds.com/dog. It's always a great night at the ballpark. They've become extremely popular. Some red sprinkled in and around Miller Park. Boy, have they supported the hometown team. There's no two ways about that. Very similar market size city to Cincinnati. I don't believe the Reds have ever drawn 3 million fans in a season. And the Brewers are about to do it for what, the 5th time in the last 7 years. They're going to need, what do they have? They'll have 3 more home games. So they're not going to get to 3 million this year. They're going to be really close. They'll go over 2.7, probably 2.75 here tonight.
But I think here in Milwaukee, because of the roof, you make plans. I don't care if you're coming from California, you know they're going to play.
There's no doubt about it. They are, without a doubt, they made the best choice you could possibly make in putting together the financing to build this kind of facility.
You know it's not going to rain. You know it's not going to be smoking hot. You know it's not going to be freezing in April. It's a comfortable atmosphere in here. There's something to be said for consistency.
There's no doubt about it. And the overwhelming majority of people that come to these games, there's a swing and a miss, and Harvey is out on strikes. The overwhelming majority of people that come to any Major League Baseball team's game, they are fans who, you know, they only have X amount of dollars to spend on things they'd like to do as a family. And so baseball is still by far the most affordable game of any of the major professional sports. It's not even remotely close. And to think you're going to bring your kids down here, even if they have school tomorrow, you're not going to be sitting through 2.5 hours of a rain delay. You get to see batting practice every night. That's a big deal. And like you said, you're just comfortable. It's not too hot, not too cold in here. You can wear a t-shirt, short sleeve shirts like we have, and for some people, maybe if you're a little thin-skinned, a sweatshirt's fine. On nights like tonight where it's only about 60 outside. And the one thing I love about here compared to some of the other towns you go to is 4 times than not, they will open the roof here compared to other places you go. Three balls and a strike on Billy Hamilton. And that's a fastball, knee high inside, corner, strike 2.
What was interesting, you were talking about the roof during batting practice yesterday. Roof was open. During batting practice today, roof was open. Now they did close it at game time. And in game 1, the roof was open for batting practice and the bowl game.
That's right. It's a beautiful day here. Very warm here. Unseasonably warm here on Monday. But it's more to where you would expect it to be now. It's a beautiful time of the year in this part of the country, really all over the country, but especially in the heartland and the Midwest into September and October. There's strike 3 called to Hamilton. He thought that was ball 4. 4 strikeouts now for, make it 5 for Gio Gonzalez.
That's when that ability to locate your fastball comes in awfully handy. You're away, 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 away. Hitter is looking away. And then you just sneak one right on the inside corner, can't pull the trigger. So one thing that Gonzalez has done quite a few times is flip that breaking ball over for a strike on the first pitch. It's not his best breaking ball, but it's a strike. And few hitters want to swing at that on a first pitch.
He's going to put together another perfect inning. 3 of them so far here tonight. And working on a 2-hit shutout.
Rated telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Brewers come to bat here in the home half of the 5th inning, leading the Reds 4-0. Got a run in the first inning and a 3-run home run by Aguilar in the 3rd. Top of the order, Granderson, Yelich, and then the big man. Granderson 0 for 2. He's bounced to second base and popped up to center field. Now Harvey falls behind, 3 balls and a strike to Granderson. The way Gonzalez is working tonight, 4 is going to be tough enough. That ball ripped, but right at Shebler. That's just tough luck right there for Granderson. And Matt will take it. Yelich double into left center field, scored in the first inning, then had that tapper back to the mound. Where Harvey looked like he was going to throw to second, he didn't, and by the time he turned to throw to first, there was nobody there. Otto had broken to his right to go get the ball, and there's a foul out for the 2nd out of this inning. Well, here comes the big man, Jesus Aguilar. StatCast AI provided by AWS. This ball was hammered.
Wanted it down and away. It leaked up and back out over. That's why Aguilar plays first base every day for the Milwaukee Brewers.
.33 home runs. He's knocked in all 4 Brewers runs tonight, giving him 103. 2-0.
That's exactly what you want if you're Tucker Barnhart and Matt Harvey there. You throw a changeup on the inside part of the plate to a big fella like Aguilar. You want him to pull it foul. You want him to hit it hard so he can think about it a little bit.
Pulled it badly there. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Harvey. Reds trail 4-0.
You know, for the people and for me too, because I never hit like 13 homer, and when I play in minor league, but I feel really good. I using more my legs, and I think that is the reason why I got the homer.
It's time now for our Indeed player resume. And as you heard right there, Jose Peraza said he never thought he'd hit 13 home runs. He had just 8 career home runs prior to this season. The most he ever hit in a single season in the minors was 4. But he's gotten stronger. You saw how physically strong he looked in his upper body. And Jeff and Tom, you guys talk about it all the time. You got to use your bottom half. And as he has, the ball really jumps off his bat, much like Zach Cozart as he started to mature body-wise as he got a little bit older.
Yeah, and people forget that Peraza's still so young. He came to the big leagues as a very, very young man. Been around a couple of years already, and he's a much stronger, bigger guy than maybe looks on television. You see him up close. This is a strong young man. And I tell you, and we've talked about this for years and years and years and years. But I think a real tip of the cap goes to Peraza, who's really been aided by Eugenio Suarez to start doing the interviews in English. It can be scary for those whose primary language is not English to be interviewed. You got bright lights on you and you're being asked questions, and maybe there's some of the words you might not quite understand. Maybe you trying to express exactly what you say and how you want to say it can come out the wrong way, and maybe you say something you didn't mean to say. This guy showed a lot of courage this year by doing that.
First baseman, Joey Votto, 19.
He's come on in every facet, whether it be as a baseball player or just as a person in general. I think his confidence is swelling, and I think that's a huge asset for the Reds going forward into 2019 and beyond, for that matter.
He's going to be around a long time. Pickup, Olay, says Arcia.
Perfect positioning and an outstanding athletic play by Arcia. That's how you get away with hitting 224 when you can make plays like that.
Eugenio Suarez about it.
I love those fielders, Tom, when they know they're good. Javi Baez, he knows he's good. He's great. That kid, he knows he can pick it.
I just really like watching Aguilar and Arcia. They're two guys that really seem like they're having fun playing this game. And it's been talked about, you know, that seems more and more and more. There's no emotion. There's no smiling. There's no fun. The little boy that grew up playing baseball, right? These two guys, you see it every game. Now they're winning, so it's easy to smile.
Francisco Lindor would fall into that category.
Oh, yeah.
Cleveland Indians. And there are a lot of guys that have fun playing. But I think there are certain guys that, in order for them to do their best on the field, they have to have max concentration, and maybe that doesn't allow them to expand emotionally.
There's a high fly ball into right center field, and Gonzalez is rolling here tonight. 4-0 Milwaukee. All righty. Brian, thank you very much. think both leagues are going to be really interesting to watch in the postseason, but I think there's an extraordinary amount of intrigue. And I'm, you and me, have always been National League guys, the whole 9 yards. But I think there's just tremendous intrigue with the postseason in the American League this year. You have the defending world champs who look like they're ready to try and defend it. You have a Boston team that's been the best team in that league most of the year. But all of a sudden, a few chinks here and there showing up, especially in that bullpen. You got a Cleveland team with the best starting pitching of all those teams. Right there, you neck and neck with Houston, but Cleveland statistically, I mean, unbelievable starting pitching. And then you get, especially if Bauer gets back, right? And you have the Yankees who have a chance to win more than 95 games this year, who nobody seems to be talking about, even though it's the New York Yankees. And then you have a team like the Oakland A's. No one's played better than the A's since the beginning of May. Or roughly the middle of May.
The thing that kind of gets me a little bit about the way the postseason is set up, that's a good pitch right there. You look at the American League. Ultimately, the Yankees and the Red Sox are going. They're set up to play each other before they ever get to the ALCS. That to me, that's kind of crazy. And then you look on the National League side, if the Cardinals and the Brewers, which is where we're really set right now.
Broken bat, little pop up, and drops right between Hamilton and Shebler, and Santana is racing to third, where he'll get there easily with a triple. And a broken bat.
This is just not good communication between Hamilton and Shebler. Ball is not hit hard at all. Hamilton is going for the ball. Shebler is going for the ball at the same time. One player has to back up. But going back to what we were talking about on the wild card, if the Cardinals and the Brewers both make it, and that looks like where we're heading right now, they're going to play in the wild card, and the winner of that game is playing the Cubs.
There's an intentional walk that will be given to Moustakas. That's what happened in the National League West. You may remember last year, you had the Diamondbacks play the Rockies, and then the winner, which was Arizona, had to play the Dodgers in the division series. All right, runners on the corners. Reds have Whistler getting loose in the bullpen.
Well, I think when you wake up tomorrow, if you did not watch the ball game, you're going to think Matt Harvey had a bad day. He's thrown the ball actually very well. He's just had some terrible luck. And that ball that Yelich hit back in the inning, then nobody's covering first base. That ball there, that's a routine single. That's what that is. It ends up being a triple.
He had retired 9 in a row. For that triple by Santana. Back out of play by Pena, who twice has grounded to the shortstop. And Harvey would love to get a third ground ball right at Peraza off the bat of Pena here. Garcia would be next. First things first, however, for Harvey, and that's zeroing in on Manny Pena. the bottom of the batting order, Corey Knable, their one-time closer, is getting loose for the Brewers in the bullpen. They have gotten 6 sensational innings tonight from Gio Gonzalez. 2 hits, no runs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harvey ahead of Pena.
Well, the first 3 pitches of this at bat were away from Pena. They came in on the 1-2 pitch trying to get Pena to roll over it, and he jerks it foul with authority down the third baseline, and they go back away. The reason you go away early and come in late, you're trying to get that ground ball double play.
Where did that miss? I think Harvey's wondering the same thing. Let's take a look. Man, that's right there. Seventh pitch in this at bat to Manny Pena. It'll be an 8th.
I'd like to see Harvey drop that curveball in the dirt as he did in the previous inning to strike out Aguilar.
From another fastball, it's fouled off to the first base side. Balls, 2 strikes on Pena. Runner goes this time. And Moustakas will make the U-turn and come on back. It's quite a battle here between Harvey and Pena. And that was the 100th pitch of the night. And now here comes Jim Riggleman trotting out of the dugout. Been since the middle of June since Harvey has thrown 100 pitches in a game. What do you suppose that's all about, Cowboy?
I think what Jim is trying to make sure of is the runner Moustakas was moving. You're trying to get the double play here. You just can't give up another run, and you want to try to guard against that as much as possible. Whether that's put a play on, whether it's throw over to first, whatever that may be.
He bluffs to go this time. This will be the 11th pitch in this at bat. Harvey against Manny Pena. Moustakas running.
And maybe that was what the meeting was about when Jim went out. But you've got Santana at third. Not super fleet afoot.
I cannot believe that Mike Moustakas running the Reds did not throw to second base.
Well, he was a dead duck.
I mean, I cannot believe they did not throw to second base. Domingo Santana isn't going anywhere.
He was going back to third.
He is going nowhere. And Moustakas is one of the slowest runners in the league. I cannot believe they did not throw the ball to second base right now. Three balls, 2 strikes. And it's 7-0 Milwaukee. A 13-pitch at bat capped off by a 3-run home run.
Well, this time the breaking ball sits in the middle of the plate. 3 straight breaking balls in a row. And this time Pena sits on it.
Seven hits, 7 earned runs given up by Matt Harvey here tonight. Skyline Chili called to the bullpen. We're back in a moment. That cannot be denied, but I think you said it too, Cowboy. He had some bad luck behind him.
I don't think this was a Matt Harvey that had 7-run stuff against him here tonight. But that's where we sit.
Matt Whistler takes over on the mound. The Cowboys, another young guy in Whistler. And we've seen him with Atlanta before coming over in that trade for Adam Duvall. But since he's become a Red, you've seen him a little more often. What are your thoughts?
Real quick arm action, really short on the backside. I think the key for Whistler, he's got to be able to throw that breaking ball for a strike with more consistency. When he does that, that makes that fastball that much more surprising, because he's not a location type pitcher with his fastball.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Orlando Arcia. And he's out of there swinging. Second out of the inning. And the night is over for Gio Gonzalez. Wow. 7-0 lead, and he'll leave after giving up 2 hits and no runs. Struck out 5, walked 2. He's pitched very well. This is a good pickup for this Milwaukee team. Gio Gonzalez. He could be a factor in the postseason. If Milwaukee gets into postseason and is able to win a wild card game, if that's how the Brewers get in, they're still not completely out of the divisional race with Chicago. They lost a game last night as the Cubs wear out Arizona again, and they're getting ready to tee it up in the desert here in about 5 minutes. Suarez to the glove side will throw out Broxton, and Whistler retires both runners, but a 3-run home run in the inning by Pena on a 13-pitch at bat. To a very fast start. Chorizo hanging in there, trying to make a late run. And down goes Chorizo, unable to finish. And back on his feet. Ahead of the Polish sausage, the Italian, and the hot dog. Well, that was a somewhat controversial ending. And the Russian judge, along with the French judge, think there's dirty work at hand. Down goes Chorizo. Hope the Chorizo's okay.
Too much of a body lean.
I think they're a little top heavy when you put those on. Corey Knebel, the closer when this season began, got hurt very early in the year, and by the time he came back, it was all about Jefferson Hader. But now that he is back after another stint in the minor leagues, he's been throwing bullets again. What a weapon that would be for Craig Counsell to have this guy all the way back. changes on defense as well, with Knable coming into the game. Jeanette a swing and a miss, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Keon Broxton stays into play center. Granderson goes from left to right, and Yelich goes from center to left. So all these guys capable of playing multiple outfield positions for Milwaukee. 3-2 to Jeanette. There's ball 4. You can read Scooter Jeanette's lips over there saying this guy is hard to hit.
Big time fastball.
Big time.
And he's such a tall right-hander. He's got an angle down to the plate that makes it even that much more difficult.
And how about that?
Well, that's the pitch. That breaking ball is really the equalizer for Knable. If he can get the breaking ball over the plate, you're going to get more swings on those borderline fastballs.
Irvin gone on strikes. Phillip went for 3 in the game, and the inning continues for Tucker Barnhart.
Fastball right at the top of the strike zone. And after seeing that hook, that looked like it was shot out of a bazooka.
You're not kidding. That looked fast in slow motion. There's that breaking ball. It misses. Facet Williams has moved into the on-deck circle, or as I affectionately called him last night, his friends call him Jason Wilson. You see 2 dominant power pitchers and strikeouts per 9 innings. Numbers 1 and 3 in that Milwaukee bullpen. Two-one delivery.
Knable has a little bit of almost a drop right before he comes to the plate. Right there.
Easy double play here. And that's all for the Reds in the 7th. Knable with a walk, a strikeout, and a double play. Join the Reds for Fan Appreciation Day. It's presented by Ace Hardware. Special prizes from Frisch's, Montgomery and La Rosa's, Dunkin' Donuts, and so much more given away throughout the game to some lucky fans. You can be there for $12. Reds and the Pirates. Visit Reds.com for tickets. Postcard entries are indeed accepted. That's the 30th. Well, the Reds will make a few changes. Blake Traha takes over at shortstop. And now taking over behind the plate is Tim Fedorovich. It's still Whistler on the mound. All Milwaukee here tonight. 3-run home runs from Aguilar and then Pena. And a foul ground room over there for Suarez, and that's out number 1. Whistler's retired all 3 batters he's faced. Hopefully this will be the final time this year the Reds have to see Mr. Yelich. All the damage he has done against the Reds. And he missed 4 games against the Reds earlier this year. 2 more hits tonight, double, single, 2 unscored. Balls and a strike to Christian Yelich, pulled to the right side, and he'll be thrown out by Scooter. Well, our Built for Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile, the big fella today. Aguilar, infield hit to drive in a run in the first, and then a 3-run big fly to the second deck and right in the third. Giving him 103 runs batted in on a year. He came in at 99. Jesus. Travis Shaw knocked in 101 last year. And Aguilar coming into this season at a grand total of 57 runs batted in for his career in the big leagues. Today was a day, by the way, that in 2009, Prince Fielder set the all-time Brewers single-season record for runs batted in. 127 on this date, breaking the old record by Cecil Cooper. Oh, Moses, I think the earth just tilted.
He's looking at his
He's up, man. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's got great facial expressions. You know, we were talking about what a big guy this guy is. Those are the pants of Aguilar. And that's Arcia on the left and Zach Davies on the right. Aguilar out of there on strikes. righty, gentlemen, thank you very much. Greg Counsell going to go to his bullpen and bring on a guy who's been a starter for him nearly this entire year. And boy, he had a nice run at spurts this year. His right-hander, Junior Guerra.
Started the season for one ball game, that is, in AAA. Brewers brought him to the big leagues, and he actually threw the ball quite well.
Jonathan Scope comes into the game. He's out there playing second base. And Travis Shaw move over to first. The night is over for Aguilar. All he did was knock in 4. And he'll get an early jump on that spread. Big man. Here's Mason Williams. All 1 low and away. Nice job by Whistler tonight. Inning and 2/3, perfect. He had 2 strikeouts. And he went right through the top of that order in the 7th inning of Granderson, Yelich, and the big man, Aguilar.
Like Jackson Stevens throwing in the Reds bullpen.
Yep. Only ready to go in the bottom of the 8th inning. Williams is batting for the pitcher Whistler. You have Hamilton next, and then Scott Shepler. Gio Gonzalez, a big story tonight for the Brewers. 6 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball. Broxton in center, squeezes it for the first out.
Guerra, for the most part, is fastball changeup. Moves both of those pitches around in the strike zone. Not a whole lot of breaking balls, but his changeup is awfully good.
Slow tapper down to first, and Shaw will beat Hamilton to the bag for the second out. Billy 0 for 3 tonight.
Just as I say that, he throws Billy Hamilton a first pitch breaking ball.
Guerra last pitched on Saturday, 2 1/3 scoreless innings out of their bullpen. He's made 12 career relief appearances. Spent time on the DL. Cowboy mentioned back in July. After the total this year, his next start would be his 27th start. But had some good stretches this year for Milwaukee.
Normally, the Reds swing the bats well against the Brewers. Now, the Brewers swing the bats well against the Reds. But that 8-0 ball game and now a 7-0 ball game here in Game 3. Don't see too many of those when Brewers and Reds come to town. No.
Shepler a hitless game in 3 at-bats. In fact, the top 4 hitters in the Reds lineup tonight are hitless combined. 0 for 11. And only Suarez has reached base with a walk.
The fellas only had 2 hits tonight. One of them was from Jeanette in the 4th inning. The first hit coming from Phillip Ervin. That came back in the 2nd.
And both were singles.
As you and I talked about when we began the ball game, Gio Gonzalez, if he is on his game early, and he was, he's a very difficult pitcher to get to.
Garrett thought he had strike 3 with that breaking ball there. Balls and 2 strikes to Scott Schebler. Breaking ball, and this time it is strike 3. That's a good pitch. Brewers bat in the bottom of the 8th, leading 7-0. On Facebook and get highlights here from players, relive some great moments. Follow Fox Sports Ohio on Facebook. Jackson Stevens does indeed take over on the mound for the Reds. Brewers lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning, 7-0. Stevens appearing for the 26th time, a 2-2 record, 5.50 ERA. Mason Williams stays in the game to play center field. And Gabriel Guerrero will take over in right. Ball 1 to Travis Shaw, who's moved over to first base after starting the game at second. 7 runs, 7 hits, including 2 3-run home runs. 2 left on base for the Brewers. Reds have been shut out on 2 hits, stranded 4. Reds had 2 legitimate scoring threats in the second inning, first and third, 1 out. And then first and second, 1 out in the 4th inning. Gonzalez able to make the pitches when he needed them most. 3 balls, 2 strikes. You know, whenever guys like Jackson Stevens get a chance to come into games, and look, it's 7-0, obviously. You'd rather be pitching at the start of a game. Stevens has been a starter most of his minor league career, and actually a pretty good one through most of his minor league career. But, you know, we don't know what the future is for the interim manager, Jim Riggleman. And of course, going hand in hand, more times than not, means the entire coaching staff or some of them around him right now in that dugout. But when you have a chance to come into games and pitch, it better be like it's 2-1 in the 8th for guys like Stevens. You want them to remember you going out on a high note and taking it to people, not walking guys and falling behind 2-0 to the next guy. First at bat of the game for Scope. Center field, this will be the first out. You know, if indeed teams start to go more with this sort of hybrid role of a pitcher where you have guys every couple of days that are able to give you a couple or 3 innings every 3 or 4 days, that could be a spot that Jackson Stevens finds himself in the big leagues. Because it doesn't look like he's going to get a chance to make himself a starter in this organization, at least not right now. But he's, you know, big, strong guy, been a starter. He could come in there and fill that kind of role for you. I mean, it seems to me that would be the spot that he might get his longest look at. You agree?
I think that is the only place that he will fit right now. But the key for Stevens is he's got to iron out some inadequacies in his mechanics and where his arm slot is. Because if you watch him time over time, the arm slot fluctuates. When the arm slot fluctuates, the balls to the plate fluctuate, and that's a problem. It's not that he doesn't have good arm strength. He does. He can light that radar gun up, and he's got a great breaking ball. But those are the things, the radar gun and having a good breaking ball, being able to spin it, that's what gets you signed out of high school or college or wherever you may be. But what makes you successful is being able to harness those pitches throughout your minor league career and really harness them here.
Guerrero at the track, going to cut this thing loose to try and double up the runner. Not going to be in time. 2 down in the inning. Here's Pena. He had a 13 pitch at bat and finished it off on pitch number 13 with a 3-run home run to break this thing wide open in the 6th inning. It came against Matt Harvey. On the ground is short, and that will retire the side. The Reds come to the plate in the 9th inning, trailing 7-0. Reds Community Fund launching a new program to recruit and train young coaches, help bring baseball and softball back to your community. Sign up for the Fall or Winter Series program. This program is in partnership with the Reds, USA Baseball, ABCA, and the Major League Baseball Players Association. If you like information, visit reds.com/academy. They're feeling good here in Milwaukee. Feeling really good. Now look at that guy. He's got it going on. Man, he's got it going on. I mean, there's something to be said for consistency.
It looked like he was about to go into his secondary move.
He's known in his ballpark as the Maniac. Apparently he's here every night. This is Freddie Peralta, another guy who gave him some quality work this year as a starter. Traha. Count of 0-2. This one got Pena and the umpire. Knocked that mask clean off. That's strike 3 called. One away here in the Reds' ninth. This would be the 3rd time in the last 5 games the Reds would be shut out unless they can get on the board. Big crowd tonight, 33,443 on a Wednesday night, on a rainy night, on a school night in Milwaukee. 33,000. 4-4. How about that?
They're winning.
Tell you what, there are a lot of teams winning, not drawing 33,000 on a Wednesday night. I could rip off about half a dozen of them right now. There's no way Atlanta has 34,000 down here tonight. Today. Cubs would. Cardinals would. Colorado, maybe. Arizona, no chance. Cleveland, no chance. Oakland, no chance. Houston, I doubt it. On a Wednesday.
Atlanta's done pretty good.
Yeah, they're doing better.
Teams.
Yeah, you're right. They've done a lot better.
New ballpark. They've done much better there. And then you add to the fact that they're playing winning baseball.
Yes. Otto draws a walk, so he'll keep that on-base streak alive. It's the 1100th career walk for Joey Votto. Yeah, Atlanta's really drawing much better. They're up over 2.4 million now this year. But can you believe Miami? You've got teams that are going over 3 million. Dodgers are over 3 million. Cardinals are over 3 million. Giants will go over 3 million. The Miami Marlins.
500.
723,000 fans. In one of America's largest cities with a brand new ballpark. 723,000 fans.
There's still a lot of fences to be mended in that town. I think the Marlins fans were sold a bill of goods, and a lot of them have yet to forget it.
The only 3 teams in the National League that will not get over 2 million in attendance this year would be the Marlins, the Pirates, and the Reds. They'll be the only 3 in the National League. Without even looking, I can promise you there are probably double that number more than that in the American League. Baltimore will not get there. Cleveland, unbelievably. White Sox, no way. Detroit, probably not. Kansas City, nope. Minnesota, right on the border. No way for Oakland. Tampa Bay. Texas will. Two and two on Suarez. High pop up. Votto was on the run, or rather the bench runner was on the run. That would be Dixon. And that's a second out of the inning. And the Reds are down to their final out of the night. They have 2 hits in a game. A single by Irvin in the second inning and a single by Jeanette in the fourth. That's been it.
Second baseman, Jeanette.
Runner takes second base, Dixon. That's indifference, and it's strike one to Scooter Jeanette. And the 0-1 from Peralta. 0-2. Swung on and fouled out of play. If this holds, this will be the 5th time this season the Brewers have shut out the Reds. Shattered back. Cincinnati hasn't been shut out by a single team 5 times in a single season since the Pirates did it to them in 1960. The Brewers, meanwhile, have only shut out one other team as many as 5 times in a single year, and that was in 1971 California Angels. And so goes the show back.
He's got some more of them.
He sure does.
He owns the company.
That's exactly right. He can just walk right in there and grab one. Swung on and fouled out of play. Seven 7-0 Brewers with 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Still 0-2 on Jeanette. He's not going to phone it in on you. He's going to fight you to the final out of the night.
He has been on base every time here tonight.
Still 0-2, and Peralta to the plate. That is strike 3, and that's the old ball game. The Brewers have shut out the Cubs for the 5th time. Brewers have shut out the Reds for the 5th time this season. Final count here tonight. 3-run home run by Aguilar, 3-run home run by Pena. Great starting pitching by Gonzalez in a 7-0 Brewers win. We'll be back in a moment.